we're now in week 2 almost since that disastrous Prince Harry interview with the BBC. He lost a major court case. He sat in front of a reporter for the BBC, and he basically walked right up to alleging that the British royal family wants to kill him, Meghan, and probably his 2 innocent young children, but also that he would love to get back in. He would love to get back in, but he also just needs all of the security that this latest court ruling once again denied him, okay? Because he's not a working royal anymore by his own decision, okay? So the British taxpayers aren't gonna pay for this. And he's so important. So this was a humiliation. And if you go and look at that interview on YouTube, you can see, I mean, the whole demeanor, his comportment, the way he's talking, like his mouth is like even smaller than usual. He can't get the words out. He is just completely, he uses the word devastated. He says, I'm devastated. That is a man who is fully emasculated, if you ask me. Okay, so what does Meghan do? When things go wrong, like really, really wrong, like really, really, really bad, Meghan does this. She puts on this face and everything's great. Everything's great. In fact, things are better than they were before Harry's latest fuck up, okay? So she took to Instagram, where her likes and comments seem to be permanently disabled, to brag about having been at Beyonce's show the night before with that man, Harry. Remember, never forget, that man who loves me so much. So of course, now this is a carousel, right? Because we have to experience like all of her emotions and her winning, her constant winning. So she begins this post in the most banal, cliched way possible, okay? She begins this post with the following 3 words. About last night. Like everybody uses that. Like it should be like whoever runs Instagrams, you know, it's not Mark Zuckerberg, but whoever, like that should just be banned. About last night. It's not cute anymore. It's not funny, whatever. Okay. So of course she uses the most hackneyed, trite thing she can because she has not, as I've said, an original freaking thought in her head. So first, we're going to see Meghan standing at the Beyonce show. And I think in this one, she might be wearing Harry's hat. Yeah. Okay, she's wearing, now the hat is going to come into play later. Now look at her. First of all, I want you to take this all in because every single thing is telling us something. And I want you to think about the ways in which she thinks she's showing us she and Harry are winning, but she's actually showing us that they are losing as ever. Okay, so that's that image. This is the next image. And this was also this was like the center photo on page 6 over the weekend in the Sunday paper. Look at I mean, look at the smiles, okay? They're having the best time. Next, we're gonna look at Meghan dancing at the Beyonce show because, you know, she's not just a royal in exile, she's like a cool royal in exile. So she's dancing, she's letting loose, she's letting her hair down. Oh my God, you guys, she can't dance. She can't dance. Like she's barely moving for like, it's like Taylor Swift can't dance. So like they usually make her just walk on stage, like just like she's a supermodel, like she walks over here and then she walks over there. Like Meghan is like barely, like she's like a robot. She's like dancing like a robot. Okay, then next in her carousel, we see Harry kissing Meghan on the cheek because what is he doing if he's not showing that he's constantly a supplicant? He's the help. He has to show that she is the adored one. And that's, by the way, in stark contrast to the 2 of them in New York City a couple of weeks ago at the Time 100 summit, where she exited their vehicle and he went to grab her hand and she just like, pff, pff, I have a stranger to hug. Get away from me, peon, you disgust me. Okay, next, Meghan with friends. Again, who are these people? Like, I don't recognize any of them from the Netflix show With Love, Meghan. Like, where's Daniel, the makeup artist? Where's Mindy Kaling? Who are these no names that I don't notice? Okay, again, she's not with celebrities. Okay, I don't know who these people are. And then we're going to take a look at, okay, Here is this video of Beyonce and Meghan clapping together? Can this be right? No, they're not together. Of course not. Meghan's just having a moment. Okay, and then let's see. There's another picture of her and Harry. It's a selfie. Nobody cares. The hat is what I want to get to. The hat. So the hat she was wearing, which we are informed was Harry's. You guys look at this thing, okay? She's got stenciled inside the brim of the hat, on the underside of the brim of the hat, which would be, again, Harry's. Archie in all capital letters, like block letters. Underneath that, Lily, all block letters. And underneath that, my love. My love. Not Meghan, but, you know, hearkening to the Jamie Carlima interview that she did like 2 weeks ago, where she sighed theatrically, because there's no other kind of Meghan Markle sigh, but a theatrical sigh. That man, you know. And she's telling us he comes in after she has torn herself away from her 2 children for a moment of respite. And she goes into an adjoining room where she now misses them so much, she has to start scrolling through her phone to look at photos of them, even though they're in the next room. And Harry walks in and he says, my love, can't you just give yourself a break? So, you know, and okay, what this hat shows is not only, I think Harry's balls, I think she like weighted them down with like some concrete per The Sopranos and like threw them in a body of water and they're gone. That's it. This guy's fully emasculated, and that's her showing us the way she's got control of him and how much he adores her. And it also shows us that Meghan is not what she purports to be and so badly wants to be. She thinks she's like the cool royal, the American easy breezy California cool royal with a wellness brand or a food brand like Gwyneth. Like, she's not cool. Okay, there's zero about that hat and everything else about in that Instagram post that is cool. And, you know, I'm not saying cool is the cost of entry for everything. It's certainly not, but authenticity sure as fuck is. And you know what runs on a dual track with authenticity? Often you're cool, okay? Because you don't really give a shit. And her problem is she gives way too much of a shit, hence that post. Now, look at the caption, because she then says, like, thanks to Beyonce and team for a wonderful night. Okay, so this caption, what's not in this caption is telling us everything. Okay, first of all, look at where they're seated. They're not in a VIP box, okay? This isn't Oprah with her astronaut friend in bedazzled blue jeans, Gail, in a VIP section at Beyonce's show, okay? So she got tickets either on StubHub or someone called someone in Beyonce's camp and they were like, okay, just throw her a bone. But they're up there, okay? They're like in the mid-section of this tour, which by the way is flopping all over the place. So it's not like it's a hard ticket to get, okay? Then she says, thanks to Beyonce and her team for a great night. She doesn't say, thanks to Beyonce for hooking us up. Thanks to Beyonce's team for making sure H and I, or that man and I, had everything at our fingertips and didn't want for a moment. We had a personal concierge. I had a personal bathroom. She's not saying any of that, okay? So she's trying to make it seem like she and H are like super tight with Beyonce and Jay and her, and like, think ahead, okay, Meghan? Think ahead for once. The Diddy trial is underway in New York City as we speak. I think Jay-Z, whatever, I think he's got a few concerns, okay? So maybe you don't want to be adjacent to them. Maybe you don't. Okay, so they try to put this happy face on this. But then Sunday, you guys, this still photo emerges of Harry, who has just finished whining. Okay, look at this photo. He is in London on his own. This looks like morning light to me, early morning light. A Ring camera. He's on his cell phone, and a Ring camera has caught him buzzing someone's townhouse. The trash cans in the background. There's one for recycling, it looks like, and one for trash, but they're trash cans. Again, I miss Andy Warhol deeply. This is like one of the best celebrity photo. We are just, it's an abundance of riches. So this guy who just got finished moaning to the world that he needs 24/7, like Mossad level security when he goes to the UK because he's that important, is caught wandering around a London neighborhood alone in what looks like, frankly, last night's suit, knocking on random doors. There is no security anywhere in sight, anywhere. So which is it, Harry? Now, the official line that came out, and I don't think it was like from Harry per se, but like his camp, was that he was merely looking for a friend of his and his wife who lived in that neighborhood. And that was the last known address he had for them. And so clearly, if this story is true, which I doubt, and we'll get into why, I think that the only other explanation would be like these two left no forwarding address for him. Okay. Location unknown. They're in the equivalent of the aristocracy's witness protection program from Harry and his terrible wife, Meghan. Now, I don't believe that story is true because I saw a lot of online speculation that this is behavior that, we'll say, a hard partier would exhibit. And as I disclosed once when I was on Megyn Kelly's show, like I've never done hard drugs in my life. I was maybe offered cocaine twice in my life, and I was like, I don't want it, thank you. And by the way, like friends of mine later told me it's a great thing you never tried it because you probably would have loved it because all cocaine makes you want to do is talk. And I love to talk, as you know. So I probably would have wound up in rehab like more than once. Anyway, they're saying this speculation online, which kind of tracks to me, is that like he had a long, long night with people who were kind of party buddies who he didn't really know well, but for the purposes of that evening, they had a lot of commonalities. And then he woke up somewhere and wasn't quite sure where he was, but he left something behind. It obviously wasn't his cell phone because he's on it, but he left something behind. But so why not just call Meghan? Because he can't, because he's fucked up yet again. So he can't call Meghan, can't call his daddy, can't call his brother or his sister-in-law. He can't really call any friends because he doesn't know where the fuck they are because they've all exited stage left years ago. I wonder who he really is trying to call. Anyway, so he left something behind and, you know, his dignity is the least of it.